Okay, hi and welcome back. Today I was thinking I would do a project. I have these cans of different kinds. These are the paper type with the metal bottom, and these are just, I think these were coconut milk with a pull-up lid. So I've started, for safety's sake, to just take a pair of pliers and push the sharp edge in. It's pretty easy. And to start off, I'm gonna put a coat of gesso. I'm not gonna do anything to the inside of these cans, because these are gonna be holding my aquarelle pencils, my, all kinds of pencils and stuff. So I don't care. You see, I've already had, in this one I have my aquarelle crayons, and it's already colored the inside, and I don't mind that it's this color inside. So first off, I've got a sponge brush and a pile of gesso. And the sponge brush is moist, so I've dipped it in water and squeezed it out. And now all I'm doing is, because I don't really know what I'm gonna do with all of these as a finishing product. I'm thinking maybe some tissue paper and paints and stuff. So I'm just going in and giving them a base coat of gesso to keep and hold whatever else media I put on this. And also to dull, especially this one, to dull down the text and stuff. And you see, it's pretty easy. I might even go in and do a second coat just to make sure that they are properly coated. And so that stuff doesn't come off of them or anything. And the gesso I'm using is just PBL Studio acrylic gesso. Nothing special. Almost any gesso would do. So I'm gonna do this onto all of my cans, and I will probably let them dry or dry them off with my heat gun and do another coat. And then I'll be back. Bye. Okay, hi. And welcome back. So I've just finished gessoing these cans, and I ended up going 3 layers, and I've let them dry. And I've actually already chosen my tissue paper, which is gonna be the Tim Holtz Postal, I think it's called. Yeah, Postal. And I got mine in one of the Swedish scrapbook shops. I don't remember which one. And I've cut it down for the size I wanted. I just measured with a ruler from the inside of the rim to the inside of the bottom rim, and cut that out. For these cans, I just measured from the edge to here, and that just took some millimeters off to make it an even half. And for gluing this, I'm gonna use matte Mod Podge. I don't know if I want to paint over them. I probably will. But for this project, I'm gonna use matte Mod Podge. And I'm just using a brush. And I'm gonna start over just a little bit. I'm gonna decide which side I want up and which side I want down. And I'm gonna center my paper over this little bit. And then I'm gonna keep gluing. And it's easier to not put the glue over the whole can when you start off, since you want to be able to center the paper. And I cut my tissue wrap just on my ordinary paper trimmer while it was still on the roll. And then I just rolled the tissue paper around my jar to get the width of it, and just folded it where I wanted it to stop, and cut that at that point. And all those little pieces I'm gonna save. So you see, now we have the tissue wrap going around, and I'm trying to get all the edges to stick down. I'm gonna go over it while after I've done this pressing down, see if I can get some air bubbles and stuff out with another layer of the Mod Podge, just to make sure it's down properly and it has a nice surface for me to maybe work on later. And this is how easy this stage is. The Tim Holtz tissue paper, I have to say, is a little bit more sturdy than if you use ordinary tissue paper, or as we say in Sweden, silkespapper. It can take a bit more, as the ordinary tissue paper is a little bit more sensitive, so you have to be more careful when you are rubbing it and when you're going. It's almost more like a napkin than this tissue paper. So you see, this is the result I have now, and I'm gonna do this to the rest of my cans. I have one big can here, and I can show you. This is the amount of width this paper have, and this will not be enough to go around this can properly. But that is also why I saved all my little offcuts from where it overlapped too much on my other cans. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be back when this is dry. Bye. Okay, so I'm back, and my jars are mostly dry. They're not 100% dry, but good enough. And I think they're looking pretty good. So now I'm gonna use some paint and make them match my room. I have a room with dark purple walls, and I have colorful accents like red, green, turquoise accents. So those are the colors I'm gonna use for this. And I'm gonna use my heavy body acrylics. And I'm gonna use the basics, bright aqua green. I'm gonna use Liquitex is this. The Liquitex dioxazine purple and the Panduro acrylic crimson. And I'm gonna use a baby wipe technique. If I can open the paints up. I got some paint boogers. When doing this, that makes the paint pretty sheer, while still giving a color down. So it's not gonna cover up all this beautiful tissue paper. So I'm just dispensing my paint here on my little paint palette. I think I might use a bright green as well. Let's see if I have something nice. I'm gonna use my Vallejo Acrylic Studio Sap Green hue. And for this technique, you're gonna use up a lot of baby wipes. So I'm putting my little altered baby wipe container close, keeping the lid open. Let's see here if I can get my palette in as well. Ooh, craft lunch. Like so. And I'm gonna go in with my baby wipe wrapped around my finger, dipping it in paint and dispersing it on my jar using my baby wipe. And you see you get a pretty sheer color dispersion that is nice because it's not covering up all this beautiful stamping like tissue paper. And I've got 9 yards to do. So I think I'm gonna switch baby wipes and go to another color, and I'm gonna do 1 jar with you. And then I'm gonna go off camera and do the rest and come back. So next baby color I think is gonna be the red. And I'm overlapping the colors, I'm smudging the colors together, mixing them a bit to get some nice blending going on. Next color. And here you need to be careful about your color choices, because if you remember your color theory, red and green makes brown, and we don't want brown, or at least I don't want brown. If you want brown, you go for it. So I'm going more over the purple with this turquoise. And you could, if you're anxious about this, wait until the colors dry between each layer and do it that way. And just do purple on everything, red on everything, green on everything, or whichever colors you choose. But it's also a really thin layer, which makes it pretty easy to wipe off if you feel that it's, if you're working and you see it's starting to go a little bit brown, you can wipe it off while you're still having it wet, so to speak. You see here, it's starting to take shape, a little bit like graffiti, tie-dye style. Like so. So I'm gonna do all my yards this way, and then I'll be back. See you in a bit. Bye. Okay, I'm back again. As you can see, this is not a craft that you should do if you do not like paint on your hands and stuff. Wear gloves. But the yards are not dry yet, but I thought I'd show you how they look. I ended up going over them twice. I have 9 yards, so I did all 9 yards in one color at a time. And then I went back one color at a time and reinforced it, because I wanted the color to be a bit more intense and yet sheer enough to still be able to see most of the text and stuff through it. And so far this is how they're looking, and I'm kind of liking it a lot. I think it's fun. It's gonna be a nice color to match or to accent my room, and that's nice. But now I'm gonna let these dry until at least tomorrow, so they have time to set properly. And then I'm thinking I'm gonna go in with maybe some Inca Gold waxes or something like that and spruce them up a little bit more. So okay, see you tomorrow or in a little bit. Bye. Okay, hi and welcome back. So my little jars, cans have dried and I'm liking it, but I'm thinking some glitter might not be a bad thing. So I've got 3 of my Inca Golds out. I've got my graphite, I've got my silver, and I've got my violet. And I was thinking, I'm not sure about the violet since I have violet in it, but I'm thinking I'm going to start with the black. Oh, that is not feeling well. I need to fix that. I keep a baby wipe in mine. My graphite have molded, but it's not a problem. I'll just clean it off and spray some alcohol on it. And if they go dry, I've just re-moisturized them with some glycerin. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna go in, and every here and there I'm just gonna rub some of this in to make it a little bit more fun and pop a bit more. And that is probably the last thing I'm gonna do with these. I might put a coat of varnish on them when this has set properly. But something like this. So I'm gonna do that to the rest of my cans, and I'll see if I put fix my graphite and put some black on them or graphite on them as well. And I'll be back. Bye. Okay, so I'm back. I have put the Inca Gold in graphite and silver on all my cans, and I thought I'd show you something. This is the Inca Gold just put on, and this is a product that is rub and buff. So you put it down and it's pretty shiny, but if you buff it or even buff it with some paper, you get it to be even more shiny. It buffs up the metallic in the jars, which is kind of nice. So you see a little bit of a difference. Maybe I should use a can. You see a little bit of a difference. This is a little bit more shiny, just because of the buffing. And you see there's not a lot of product coming off on my paper when I'm doing this. It's just like a polish, like I'm polishing the product up, which is kind of cool. So these are my cans. I'm actually really happy with them, all of them. I'm gonna buff up the last of them, and then I'm gonna be done with this. I hope you enjoyed this and had some fun and got some inspiration. And hit the like button if you like, so I know if you like. And thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.